Is it just me, or do we all have a running things to do list as soon as we start our day? That list could be checking your mailbox, buying groceries, clean the house, work out, write the next YouTube video, and on and on and on. But how do you prioritize that work? Do you do it by urgency, or do you go by your feel? If you go by how you feel in the moment and you are an ordinary person, then an item like working out is getting pushed till the day or even the next day, because that's the item that you least want to do today. So the question is, how do you fix that? If the first thing you do each morning is eat a live frog, you can go through the day knowing that that is probably the worst thing that is going to happen to you all day. Why a frog? Well, it's a metaphorical frog. Your frog is the biggest, most important task of your day that has the biggest impact. That's the premise behind this book, Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. The whole point of this book is to help you focus on increasing levels of your performance, productivity, and output. I mean, in this world of overwhelming options and not enough time, we struggle with too many tasks and this sensation that we will never be caught up. There are 21 lessons in this book, but one strategy might work effectively in one situation and another might be needed for a different task. Maybe you don't even need to apply all of these to your lives, but these are my takeaways. The first step is setting everything in front of you, everything you need. And this could be for starting a new business, starting a new YouTube channel, or getting into a new degree. Define it, write it down, crystallize it, do whatever you need to do. But after that, set a deadline. Without a deadline, there is no urgency. We need a target. For example, if I say I want to lose 20 pounds, that doesn't have as much pressure on it compared to if I say I want to lose 20 pounds in the next 6 months, or I need to create the next YouTube video in the next 7 days, or read a book in the next 15 days. Without a deadline, we naturally procrastinate. And that's why we need to organize our to-do list accordingly with subsequent sub-steps as well that will allow us to achieve our targets. For example, if I want to lose 20 pounds in the next 6 months, I need to have daily and weekly goals that I get from a fitness trainer or something I found online. Or if I want to read a book in the next 15 days, I need to know that I'm going to read 15 to 20 pages every day. That's what I mean by setting up the table. Everything ready right in front of you, day by day laid out. You plan what you are going to do tomorrow, today. I have actually noticed that if I say that I'm going to work out first thing in the morning, or if I'm going to complete my next YouTube script before the end of the day, then it gives me subconsciously this energy that allows me to go through my list successfully before the end of the day. I'm sure you have heard the Pareto principle. This means that 20% of the task gives you 80% of the results. So in terms of our daily to-dos, if you have 10 items to check off today, 2 of those items will turn out to be worth more than the other 8 combined. They could all take the same amount of time, but those 2 tasks, they are your frogs you need to eat. Resist the temptation to get the easy or small things out of the way just to shrink your list. What you choose to do repeatedly becomes a habit that is difficult to break. I know that we all like to get rid of things from our daily to-do list. It's hard to start the day with the toughest task. The feeling of satisfaction you get from completing a tough job, it will motivate you to keep going on things that really matter. So ask yourself, what is the one thing that is going to give you 80% of your results? How far can you see into the future? Because that's where the results are, right after the horizon. One of the best ways to make decisions is to consider the time factor, because that will allow you to know how long is it going to take to go beyond the horizon. What is important for you in the long term makes it easier for you to make a decision in the short term. Activities with the largest positive consequences will always go at the top of the list. You know, when you have the pressure of meeting a deadline, you do anything and everything in your power to avoid the negative consequences. That's the level of pressure that is required on our daily to-do list. And trust me, I know this is hard. I have things in my life where I fall short and cave in for the short-term gains as well. But I'm trying to remind myself every day that time is going to pass by regardless of me eating the ugly frog or not. But I have to understand that at the end of these few weeks or months, there is a prize waiting for me right at the horizon. And that's why you have to ask 3 questions when you think about this horizon. What are the most impactful activities? What can you alone do that will have the most significant impact? And what's the best use of your time in the moment? And that will help you prioritize your task in the way that the highest ticket always goes at the top of the list, the one with the highest consequences. And then would be the tasks that are also important but not as impactful. These are also frogs, but these are a little prettier than the first ugly ones that you just ate. And then comes the task that can be delegated to someone else, or they add no value to your life and can completely be eliminated. There is this great story about a client who meets the author of this book, and she talks about having a very busy schedule at work where she works 60 to 65 hours weekly, years on end, and that is actually taking a toll on her personal life. Then the author asked her to write a list of things that she does on a daily basis at her work, and she came up with 17 different tasks. Now the author asked her to circle the one that is the most important task that she does. Then he asked her to circle the second most important thing and then the third one. And then it turned out that she was providing 90% of her results just by completing these 3 tasks every day. Everything else was complementary. That could be downsized, delegated, outsourced, or completely eliminated. Talking to her boss, she was able to convince him successfully that just focusing on these 3 tasks exclusively, she was able to double her contributions to the company. That freed her time at work that she was able to dedicate for her family life. This experience teaches us that we need to ask ourselves what are the 3 most important things that we need to do in our lives that has the biggest impact. And that could be for finance, career, personal relations, or health. Set your table, get everything you need to take your necessary steps, and have everything ready to make your first move. That's when you will realize what your limitations are. When you get there, that's when you will slowly realize what your limitations are. These might be things externally or internally. This could be a performance or knowledge gap. It's important to identify the major issues and strategize what needs fixing to restore your progress. This could mean improving your skills, taking courses, attending workshops, and reading books. Do anything and everything in your power to overcome these limitations. See, at the end, it has to click within you. You can read such books and gain knowledge and do any of these things Brian mentioned. But to perform your best, you have to become your own personal leader. You must motivate yourself, perform regular audits, control your inner dialogue, and develop a positive mental attitude. Take control of your daily to-dos and see your life turn around. Thank you so much for watching.